Good evening on this Monday, the 12th day of May 2025. Welcome to Newswatch in Hope TV. I'm Tess Njenga and our sign language interpreter is Boniface Mureithi. Let us take a look at the day's news. Homa Bay Deputy Governor, that is Joseph Oyugi Magwanga, has called for swift investigations after his vehicle was shot at in an apparent assassination attempt near his home in Oyugis. Magwanga, I beg your pardon, who was not in the vehicle at the time, said two unidentified gunmen opened fire just 300 meters from his residence. He has since reported the incidents to the police, condemning the attack. He described it as alarming and troubling, linking it to a worrying trend of violence against leaders, citing the recent killing of Kasipul Member of Parliament Charles Ongondo Were.
In light of the office I hold and the increasingly worrisome trend of political violence, especially the targeting of leaders in Kasipul constituency, this attack is not only alarming but deeply troubling. While we patiently await the findings of the investigation, I call for calm among the public and urge everyone to refrain from speculation that could heighten tension or derail the pursuit of the truth.
Kenya and Finland have signed two key agreements to strengthen diplomatic relations during the Finnish meeting with President from Finland, that is Alexander Stubbs, at State House.
Another key area of our engagement is trade and investment, and the need to expand it between our two countries. I welcome His Excellency's inclusion of a business delegation in this visit, which will participate in a Finland-Kenya business seminar. This underscores our shared commitment to deepening private sector engagement and unlocking mutually beneficial opportunities. Our two nations remain committed to the effective implementation of the Kenya-EU Economic Partnership Agreement, which came into force June last year. Our meetings also identified forestry as a key area of collaboration. I commended Finland for maintaining a forest cover of 75% of its land mass, and we will collaborate closely to draw on Finland's expertise as we pursue our ambition of achieving. We have just concluded a high-level bilateral discussions focused on deepening cooperation in education, health, renewable energy, trade and investment, peace and security, and multilateral engagement, including in climate action.
We need to work together on the subjects that we discussed today: climate change, forestry, development, global health, technology, economy. And I'm sure that countries which might be far away but still in the same time zone will have many opportunities to cooperate together. And I don't say this just as a diplomatic nicety. Finland is seeking close partners, and Kenya will certainly be one of them.
Embu Senator Alexander Munyi Mundigi has defended President William Ruto's list of nominees for the IEBC, dismissing opposition criticism as baseless. Speaking in Runyenjes, Mundigi said the selection was merit-based and urged members of parliament to approve the names quickly to ensure electoral readiness. He praised President Ruto for following the law and called on the incoming commissioners to prioritize fair elections and clear outstanding payments. He also encouraged continued support for Ruto and Deputy President Kithure Kindiki.
Katika Kenya ama kona zote, hakuna wakati watu wataridhika, hata kama ni Kalonzo amekuja kuchagua mtu ama kama ni nani. Kwa hivyo ni watu wa upinzani, na mara mingi walikuwa wasema chairperson anja kuchaguliwa, lakini wakati amechaguliwa wameanja kuleta foronjo na kuleta vitu zile zingine haifai. Kwa hivyo ningeomba wakome na hiyo maneno wanasema, tushikilie huyu ndio tuweze kuona vile atafanya kazi kulingana na ile nafaa.
A witness has come forward with a chilling account of alleged police misconduct during the fatal shooting of Rex Masai in Nairobi's CBD. Frederick Omondi, an ICT engineer from Utawala, says plainclothes officers opened fire on demonstrators near City Hall at around 6:50 p.m. The incident occurred as police were dispersing protesters with tear gas from the Supreme Court roundabout. Omondi claims one officer fired live rounds directly at the crowd with no clear target, causing panic. He later witnessed several injured people near Kencom bus stage, including women allegedly hurt in the crackdown. Investigations into the incident are ongoing.
That's why I stood next to you, because remember I said he passed me.
Yes.
So I'm just trying to figure out.
Yes.
I had one chance of him measuring his height using my
So what
my
is your,
height.
what is your estimation?
Nearly your height.
Nearly my height.
Yes.
Very well. What about the other plainclothes police officer? What was his skin complexion?
Darker.
Darker than myself?
No, darker than you.
Okay. Height?
Shorter than you. Nearly my height, but a little bit shorter than me.
Nearly your height?
Yes.
Very well. At that intersection of Wabera Street and Mama Ngina, that's where you tell us the police turned from Supreme Court building into Mama Ngina Street.
Yes.
Also, to bring into perspective that road, it is the road that has a Java restaurant.
Correct.
It has a formerly Barclays Bank, Queensway, now ABSA.
Yes. Now, Barclays is on the left.
On the left.
Java is on the right, yes.
And on the right, there is also International Lifehouse you mentioned.
Correct.
4 police officers charged over the 2017 killing of baby Samantha Pendo have been barred from entering key areas of Kisumu, including Nyalenda, Nyawita, Obunga, Nyamasaria, and Kondele. High Court Judge Margaret Muigai issued the order pending a pre-bail report expected in 2 weeks. The officers, John Chengo, Masha, Lina Kosgei, Cyprian Robbie Wankio, and James Rono, have denied the charges ranging from murder to torture and rape. The court acted after victims' rights groups, including Amnesty International and the Kenya Human Rights Commission, raised concerns about survivors' safety, noting that their names and locations were disclosed in court documents. The case will be mentioned again on May the 28th. And on that note, let's take a short break on Newswatch tonight. We have plenty more coming up after the break.
Rafiki soul is the promise of a hand that reaches and goes beyond watangaza tumaini kote. I'm forever grateful, ninashukuru ukarimu, ukarimu. I'm forever grateful, ninashukuru ukarimu, ukarimu. Rafiki soul is a promise of a hand that reaches goes beyond. Watangaza tumaini kote. I'm forever grateful. Ninashukuru ukarimu, ukarimu. I'm forever grateful. Ninashukuru ukarimu, ukarimu. Rafiki mzuri.
Friends of Hope, keeping hope alive.
Thank you for tuning in to Hope TV, your go-to channel for hope, inspiration, education, and wholesome entertainment. At Hope TV, we are committed to knowing God and making Him known through powerful media content. We truly value you and are dedicated to serving you better. For feedback, inquiries, or complaints, reach out via WhatsApp or SMS on 0708 222 323. Email us at customerexperience@hopefm.org. Hope TV, look and live.
Welcome back. Now, former Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua has officially resigned from the ruling United Democratic Alliance UDA party. In a resignation letter dated today, Monday, May 12th, Gachagua announced his immediate exit from President William Ruto's party ahead of the expected launch of his own political outfit later this week. In the strongly worded letter, Gachagua accused the Kenya Kwanza government of betraying its founding promises of unity, justice, and economic inclusion. He claimed the administration had abandoned its original agenda in favor of a retrogressive philosophy. He also criticized the government's 5 key development pillars, calling them centers of crime with no tangible gains. Details of his new political movement are expected to be unveiled soon. Embu County have pledged support for a pro-government candidate in the upcoming Bere North by-election. The election follows the appointment of Geoffrey Ruko as Cabinet Secretary for Public Service. Over 5,500 elders gathered in Siakago town unanimously agreed to back the candidate who secures the United Democratic Alliance UDA nomination. 8 aspirants, including former Member of Parliament Muriuki Njagagwa and County Assembly Speaker Josiah Thiriku, are vying for the seat. The elders believe a pro-government candidate will be the best one to make progress made by CS Ruku in the region.
As the Mbere community elders, we also wish to assure His Excellency the President and his deputy that we are fully committed to securing victory for a pro-government candidate in the forthcoming 2025 by-election for the Member of Parliament seat in Bere North.
Yule ambaye candidate ya by-election mmoja wao asimame na chama ya UDA. Huyo ndio sisi zote kama jamii ya Wabere, ya Bere North, tutaunga mkono, tumpigie kura, ashinde kura ya by-election ya mbunge na aende pale bungeni akuje tufanye kazi na yeye katika serikali.
Kwa sababu Ruko amekuwa mbunge wetu, sasa amekuwa waziri, Mungu amemsaidia. And we wish you well, my brother. You are my total support. You will succeed. Because as your brother, I will stand behind you. As my friend, I will support you to make sure the people of Kenya benefit, and even the people of Mbeere, because they are also Kenyans, they benefit from the. Sasa kuna nafasi ya kijana wetu mwingine akuwe mbunge, kwa sababu sasa huyu amekuwa waziri. Mimi nimekubali ile umesema. Hao wote wanatafuta viti ni vijana wenu. Mimi binafsi na wajua wote. I know all of them by name. And they are all my friends. Hakuna mgeni. Hata nimewaambia wakuje kule Karen, tukule nyama wote. Sio some, all of them.
Women's rights activists in Kisumu are calling for greater inclusion of men's issues in the fight against gender-based violence, even as women continue to bear the brunt of such abuse in Kenya. The activists emphasized the need to also advocate for the rights of boys and men, urging male victims of abuse to come forward and report incidents without fear or shame. They believe that addressing the needs of both genders could play a key role in reducing cases of murder and suicide and fostering a more balanced and effective approach to tackling violence in communities.
You know, in much as gender-based violence, there is a large focus on femicide, and of course there is a large focus on women as victims of gender-based violence. But there's also the other side of reality where men are equally facing gender-based violence. Men are also being battered. Men are also being abused in their relationships and in their marriages. And of course, the key reason as to why most men won't publicly speak about such issues will be the stigmatization. It will be the ideology behind a man being the head of the family. It will be the ideology behind a man being strong, the ideology that a man is superior to a woman, and hence a man could never, in quotes, could never face such violence or such acts. And I think as a society, my focus is largely on conversations, and not just conversations, but rather meaningful conversations. We need to get to a point where, as a society, we are able to hold space for honest conversations without judgment, without stereotyping, and without even shaming people for being abused to start with.
So we are calling also on the men, because it's not only women who are dying, there are also men who are also suffering the same, to actually come out and speak up. If we have a united front where we fight for the rights of women and also the rights of men, then we'll get a very equal community. And this can only come forth if also men stop blaming women and women also stop blaming men. But we look at how are we also, what are our roles within our societies and in our communities.
A section of Bungoma County lawmakers have strongly opposed the leasing of Nzoia Sugar Company to investor Jeswant Rai, questioning the legality and transparency of the process. Led by Bumula Member of Parliament Jack Wamboka and Kabuchai Member of Parliament Majimbo Kalasinga, the legislators criticized President William Ruto's administration for allegedly sidelining public participation and failing to conduct a fair and competitive tendering process. Speaking to the press in Bungoma town today, the MPs also accused the government of disregarding a court order on the lease deal and vowed to block the investor from taking over operations, which are set to begin tomorrow. Their remarks come just hours after Jeswant Rai was officially handed control of the company under a 30-year lease agreement.
We are saying no to Rai. We are moving to court up to tomorrow. A further court action to make sure Rai does not step in Nzoia. Rai is the person who put pen paper. They told us that pen paper will revive. In 1 year's time, it will revive, all staff will be back. Pen paper is still down under the same person. We are telling you that one man cannot siphon the whole of Western. And if there is anything we can do for our people, is to move to the just courts. And the courts will give us a reprieve. That gives us our way. Our farmers, our workers, we are asking you to stand up in arms. As we go to court, go and close the gates. Rai cannot enter Nzoia and take over Nzoia our property. We want them to make public the agreement. Public entity, such as Zoya. There are processes laid out in law. Key of those processes that is protected by the new constitution of 2010 is public participation. By calling leaders here, wewe unaita wali viongozi wenyu hapa wakubwa wawili, mnajua wale wameuza Nzoia. By calling leaders wawili hapa, kwenda kuongea nao, unawapatia mapeni kidogo kidogo, wengine wanajengewa manyumba, does not mean umefanya public participation. Does not. That the court gave orders injuncting the process of leasing Nzoia Sugar Company. So
Hope TV is where you look and live, with an excellent selection of the best Christian programming consisting of local and international content of inspirational stories, talk shows, Bible commentary, youth, health shows, children entertainment, contemporary gospel music, extended times of worship, live broadcast, news, movies, drama, Christian ministry programs, and so much more. Hope TV is another quality service from Christ is the Answer Ministries, with over 45% of authentic and credible local content every week. Hope TV is a sister station to Hope FM, Kenya's leading Christian radio station, with footprints across the country. Tune in to Hope TV, where you look and live.
Going back to the heart of worship.
Whether up the mountain or down the valley, we were created to worship God.
Enjoy carefully selected worship music every Wednesday all day long.
Oh, I will sing of the goodness of God.
We take it a notch higher with more worship music.
Every Wednesday
is Worship Wednesday.
Only on Hope FM. Listen and live.
Thank you for tuning in to Hope TV, your go-to channel for hope, inspiration, education, and wholesome entertainment. At Hope TV, we are committed to knowing God and making Him known through powerful media content. We truly value you and are dedicated to serving you better. For feedback, inquiries, or complaints, reach out via WhatsApp or SMS on 0708 222 323. Email us at customerexperience@hopefm.org. Hope TV, look and live.
Back, the president, that is President William Ruto, has reaffirmed Kenya's readiness for business, urging the Kenya-EU Economic Partnership Agreement Council to find innovative ways to remove trade barriers and unlock the full potential of Kenya-EU relations. Speaking at the second Kenya-EU Business Forum in Nairobi, President Ruto said Kenya is implementing pro-trade policies to build a resilient economy and promote inclusive growth. He also launched the European Union Chamber, which aims to strengthen private sector collaboration between Kenya and the EU. On the sidelines of the Kenya-European Union Business Forum in Nairobi, the head of state held talks with Vice President of the European Investment Bank in a bid to enhance capacity for financial institutions. President William Ruto has said that Kenya is keen to enhance trade and investments with Finland. The president expressed commitment to leveraging Finland's expertise in education, technology, renewable energy, and climate action to accelerating the country's transformation.
Another key area of our engagement is trade and investment, and the need to expand it between our two countries. I welcome His Excellency's inclusion of a business delegation in this visit, which will participate in a Finland-Kenya business seminar. This underscores our shared commitment to deepening private sector engagement and unlocking mutually beneficial opportunities. Our two nations remain committed to the effective implementation of the Kenya-EU Economic Partnership Agreement, which came into force June last year. Our meetings also identified forestry as a key area of collaboration. I commended Finland for maintaining a forest cover of 75% of its land mass, and we will collaborate closely to draw on Finland's expertise as we pursue our ambition of achieving 30% forest cover by planting 15 billion trees by 2032.
William and I had the opportunity to first have bilateral discussions where we were able to deal with a broad range of issues, whether global, regional, or bilateral. We also talked about the big shifts that we're seeing worldwide in democracy in today's world. We talked about NGOs and the importance of their role in society. We have to remember that democracy is something that you not only have to protect, but you have to work at all times. And I think William and I share that goal.
Now in sports, 8-time Kenya Chess Premier League Championships KCB is gearing up for the return of league action. Scheduled for this weekend in Kisumu County, the team will square it out with Victoria Chess Club on Saturday and Marvin Chess Club on Sunday. The team is currently at the top of the table with 4 games played so far. KCB was crowned the top corporate team at the recently concluded Kiambu Open Chess Tournament this past weekend. In individual performances, Joseph Muragu secured 3rd place in the open category, while Joyce Nyarwai clinched 3rd in the ladies section.
Sports is important to people outside there because it involves the mental health and the physical well-being. So when the two are engaged, you find that guys are usually able to work well and also become physically fit. Hence, they can be able to avoid situations or issues such as back pains while in the working environment. KCB is promoting wellness through sports by always supporting our staff while we have sporting activities such as interbanks. We usually encourage our staff to participate so that they can enhance their mental and physical well-being.
It was a very intense event. Okay, KCB, we had a good, strong squad that we sent here. But apart from that, the number of young players here are very many. Actually, we have quite a few players from the Chess Kenya Elite Academy who are playing here, as well as young players from the Kiambu environs. So we are seeing that the level of competition in Kenyan chess is going up. Everyone is training harder, and young players are becoming stronger faster. So it's a very dynamic kind of chess environment, and it was really tough. All the rounds were tough from the beginning to the end. So we've just concluded the tournament, and thankfully KCB has managed to win the corporate title for the best corporate. But individually, we had players who did pretty well.
And it is a wrap on Newswatch tonight. On behalf of the whole team, thank you for watching. I'm Tess Njenga, and our sign language interpreter is Bonfils Murithi. Till next time, I beg your pardon, have a good night.